What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro, back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we've got Trump stirring up the left, got him in a full panic in this following clip, guys. Trump says some things that's not the narrative that the left wants him to take on. They want him to be that alpha dog, lone wolf mentality. Trump takes on an ally, a very questionable ally that's got the left panic, guys. I'm not going to do too much talking. We're going to get straight into the clip, and I'll give my thoughts on the back end of the video. So, guys, definitely stick around until the end. So, you guys get my thoughts on the back end. Also, so YouTube push this video out, definitely stick around until the end. Let's get straight into it. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys smash that like button, guys, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Well, folks, I think it's actually happening at this point. This is what I think we've been describing as the possible best-case scenario here. And of course, the best-case scenario intrinsically is the Democrat worst-case scenario, the nightmare scenario. They thought that they were planting little seeds of chaos and discord. They thought they were plunging the Republican Party into infighting, anger, frustration. I think probably the best word to use, honestly, is dysfunction or dysfunctional. They wanted to paint the Republican Party as a dysfunctional family that can't get together, cannot unite under a Donald Trump ticket. That's the narrative that they pushed endlessly, with all the news segments involving supposed Republicans. But of course, pretty much as expected, that was never going to happen. Maybe to a certain extent, I think we see like maybe 5% of the Republican voter base unwilling to back Donald Trump. Pretty normal in an election cycle. I think we're seeing around 7% of Democrats voting Republican this time round, and vice versa. The plan was to get Republicans and of course independents to ditch Donald Trump, but it just isn't happening. Every Republican contender at this point is supporting Donald Trump. Nikki Haley inevitably will follow suit and do the exact same. And so I guess I'm being a little bit wordy. What I'm trying to say here is that this Democrat-planted seed of chaos has blossomed into a beautiful tree of unity. And now, best of all, Donald Trump is playing right into it. It's coming off as authentic. People are buying into it. And so it seems as though we're walking directly into the second Trump era. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so obviously we've seen all the chaos on Twitter and other platforms between the DeSantis faction and the Trump faction. Let's just say it's been a little bit spicy. It's hard to say whether some of these DeSantis people are authentic and actually believe what they believe in. The Bill Mitchells of the world. It's likely that some of these people are paid operatives, and in some cases these accounts are just run by bots, some sort of Lincoln Project operation. But we've been seeing the two factions feud for months on end at this point. Democrats are probably hoping that this would persist, but the exact opposite is happening. Ron DeSantis officially endorsed Donald Trump, as you guys know. Let's just play like maybe a 10-second clip if you missed it.
Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge.
And Donald Trump has now officially responded with humility, grace, and most importantly, forgiveness.
I would never ask anybody to pull out. I didn't ask Ron to pull out. I didn't ask Vivek to pull out. Nobody. But we have great support, and most of the people that pulled out have already supported me, so it's actually quite nice.
Is that possible?
Well, I endorsed him. I didn't know him as well as you might think, but I did endorse him, and I had some fun with it because I watched somebody who was not in the race, and all of a sudden he was in the race, and then he did a good job as governor, so I was happy with that. But I was disappointed when they asked him whether or not he'd run, and he said, I have no comment, because to me, when you say no comment, that means you're running. And we took it, I think I took it quite seriously, and it doesn't matter now because he got out.
So that's water under the bridge now between
totally.
you
As far as I'm concerned, look, he endorsed me. He endorsed me, and we have policies very similar. Actually, I think those people will all come to me, and a lot of the things that he wanted, I wanted, and I think in fact, I noticed people commentary. They're saying, well, all of those people that would be for him would be for Trump. And so I was honored that he endorsed me this quickly. I mean, it's not easy. Look, it's not easy. He fought hard, spent a lot of money. And a lot of people thought he'd do well. I was leading from the beginning, just so you understand. And I did very well in Florida, more votes than anybody ever got. I got more votes in Florida than anybody ever got. But he was doing well. And I think he did the right thing. I don't, look, I can talk about somebody else's campaign. I didn't see a path. I don't see a path for her at all.
And that right there is exactly what was needed. And a lot of people tend to say that Donald Trump has no ability to drop the ego. Once you're in his sights, once you're on his bad side, there's no remedying that. But I think the exact opposite proves to be true over and over again. Ted Cruz, for instance, a great example. During the Republican nomination process back in 2016, some interesting things were said, especially from the Trump camp. Ted Cruz took great offense to all of it, and I really don't blame him. I would probably be pretty pissed too if I was in the same situation. But in the end, they made up and came together, and now Ted Cruz is probably one of the most ardent Donald Trump supporters in Washington. Well, the same thing could be said here. Ron DeSantis said a whole lot of things about Trump and vice versa. It was a pretty messy primary season, as expected. It's a primary with Donald Trump, but in the end, it seems as though there's no bad blood. Both sides are making up. Both these guys are being respectful. Eventually, they're going to start teaming up on things. I mean, if Donald Trump is campaigning in Florida, you're telling me that Ron DeSantis won't be part of that campaign in some shape or fashion? That just isn't happening. Ron DeSantis will be a present MAGA figure. That was the initial launch of his brand. Let's play that infamous commercial that we've played a million times before.
Everyone knows my husband Ron DeSantis is endorsed by President Trump.
Build the wall.
He reads stories.
Then Mr. Trump said, "You're fired." I love that part.
He's teaching Madison to talk.
Make America great again.
And so we went from chaos, mayhem, discord, feuding, infighting, all the words, to the one word that I think scares the Democrats the most, and that is unity. And probably even scarier, humility. When Trump said back in 2016 that he could be, quote, presidential, he probably said something to the effect of, I could be presidential. I could be more presidential than anyone's ever been. I could be the most presidential. I could be so presidential that it's going to be huge. I'm paraphrasing based on long lost memory, but I have a feeling that it's probably somewhat accurate to what was actually said at the time.
It's a lot easier to act presidential than to do what I do. Anybody can act presidential. I used to tell them all the time, the fake news, I'd say, I can be more presidential than any president in history, except for possibly Abe Lincoln with a big hat. I don't know if I can.
Well, when he said that back then, he wasn't exactly lying. Donald Trump, if he really wanted to, could be a unifying character. He could be at all times respectful. If he wanted to play politics, he could play politics because obviously he's been doing it his entire life in his business career. Obviously you have to be tough within the world of business, and I'm not implying that Donald Trump's ever been a pushover, of course not, but he knows how to act in a boardroom. He knows how to act when he has a big meeting or when he's dealing with the bank. He's been doing it his entire life. If Trump wants to be full-on professional at all times, if he wants to play that character, because that's what it is. I mean, we do the same thing in our personal lives. We don't act the same behind closed doors with our family and most trusted confidants as we do when we kind of put the professional mask on. If Trump wants to do it, he could easily do it. I think he's realized to a certain extent that he needs to find a nice balance between the two. Be hardcore, be savage when it's needed, but also learn how to show a little bit of the softer side. And right now is really the perfect moment for that. The media is bad in their Trump coverage, absolutely, but they're not nearly as bad as they were in 2016, because secretly, let's be honest, I think MSNBC and CNN actually want a second Donald Trump term. They're nothing without him. And so now that it's a little bit toned down and most of what he's dealing with are legal issues, which cast him not as a victim, but more as a martyr, now that he's on the defensive, I think it's the perfect moment to present a Trump that's just a regular guy, just like us, being attacked from multiple different angles. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it based on a couple, recent interviews that he's given, but I'm just feeling a genuine change with how he's presenting himself outwardly. I think it's a conscious effort. I think it's probably coming from within the campaign. I think they're making this decision, and I think it is a great decision. As long as they find that perfect balance, don't go, how can I say this in the least vulgar manner possible? Don't go limp, but don't always go full frickin' mega MAGA mode all the time. The diehard supporters, and I'm going to classify myself as well, we want to see mega MAGA all the time, of course, because we love it and it's in a way very much necessary, but some people just simply can't handle it. And I think that is a true statement. All you got to do is a little bit of soft, and then a 1-2. A little bit of soft, and then when it's necessary, dodge and use that counterpunch. I don't know, sorry to sound like a broken record here, but I'm seeing a brand new Trump. I'm seeing a much more politically deadly Trump. Let's just see where this new strategy leads to. I have a feeling it's going to bring over suburban moms and independents like never seen before. But of course, we'll have to see. That's just speculation at this point.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Liberal Hive Mind. Definitely going to be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below for those of you who want to go over there and check that out. Also, you guys to go over there and show our friend Liberal Hive Mind some love. Oh my goodness, guys. The left is panicking. I can see why. This is completely against the narrative and the picture that they've been wanting to paint for some time now, guys. They want it to look like the right is fighting. The right cannot get along. There is no way they could get it together and, you know, bring that household to work as one, act as one, and be a unit. That's not what's happening here, guys. We seen Trump say some things I think we would see him say for quite some time. I've seen Ron DeSantis, you know, drop out endorsing Trump. Just based off the names that Trump had called Ron DeSantis, this right here truly shows you that Trump is here and he's serious this time. He is not going to, you know, let the left take advantage of him, you know, or try to paint that picture anymore. He is being the bigger person. He's dropping it all. He's like, I'm already winning. There is no point to continue bashing this guy. I think I even seen a clip where Trump said he's going to retire the name that we all were laughing at. Let's call him Ron DeSantis, DeSanctimonium. He said he's going to stop calling him that altogether. He's retiring the name, never going to say it again. He's going to be the bigger person, and they're going to join forces together. I could definitely see the two joining forces down the line, especially, you know, Trump on the campaign trail in the near future down in Florida. I could see Ron DeSantis, you know, teaming up. He's already endorsed Trump, and like, you know, we've been seeing time and time again, their policies do align. Even Trump said it, you know, their policies are very paralleling, and because of this, their following and their supporters are about the same. If you align with and are able to support, you know, Ron DeSantis's policies and his administration, you definitely will be able to, you know, follow close behind with the Trump, and that's why the endorsement doesn't surprise me. Most of Ron DeSantis' fan base would be Trump fans and Trump supporters if Ron DeSantis wasn't in the race. Definitely got to see that Ron DeSantis also took that high road, dropping out, and not only did he drop out of the race, but he also endorsed Trump because he also knows, you know, my following, my backing is definitely, you know, similar to Trump's, and if I'm not in the race, they're going to need another solid candidate, and that's Trump. You know, he's the next best thing if you're a Ron DeSantis fan and he's not in the race. It's Donald Trump, guys. This was a very refreshing clip to see, you know, Donald Trump in an even keel manner. You know, he's very calm, cool, collected. And I feel like he dropped the ego all the way. He, you know, even said to the interviewer, you know, this is all water underneath the bridge. Me and Ron DeSantis, what happened in the past is going to stay in the past. Trump just wants to continue on his MAGA American First movement, guys. You know, continuing to better America. This one was definitely a fun one to watch, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts, guys. Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis dropping out and endorsing Trump, Trump turning around and letting us all know that, you know, that was, you know, spoil of war, you know, all that happened because we were battling. None of that stuff was personal, and we're going to drop everything and move forward for the betterment of our party. That's what we need to see. Yo, definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts, guys. The left is panicking behind this. Let's not forget. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button. It does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button, guys, because we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one.